What's up, friends? Today's video is going to be a tutorial on how I do my roller sets. I haven't done one of these in years, and I definitely have never done it on my Texlaxed hair, so let's see how it goes. So what you're going to need: a spray bottle. You're going to need your Design Essentials Almond and Avocado Curl Enhancing Mousse to set your hair. These are just some old rollers that I have. They're the 2-inch ones, or you can use a smaller one, whichever size is appropriate for you. You're also going to need some clips to just clip those rollers in place. Yes. And a fine tooth comb and a detangling brush. You may also want to get a towel because things are definitely going to get a little bit wet. So just in case. All right, so you're going to take your hair out of your cap, obviously. And I always use my heat protectant, no matter if I'm using indirect heat or direct heat. I always use a heat protectant. Now here I am measuring out my parts. Now this is honestly the most difficult part of this whole process, is making sure that you get the right size. So as you guys can see, I'm using a section that's a little bit, just like a little tiny bit smaller than the roller itself, because if I use a section that's going to be larger than the roller, then the hair is just going to flop all over the roller and it's not going to fit the size of the roller. So you want to either use a section that's a little bit smaller or the same size as your roller. So I'm going to make one long part from my forehead to the back of my neck on one side, the right side, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the left side. And here I'm just detangling that section, twisting it up, and I'm also going to just spray it with some water so that I can keep that section moist. It's really important that each section as you're rolling is really wet. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just going to section that off to get it out the way. These are my sections here. As you can see, I just divvied that up one side, and I did the same thing on the other side. And so the part in the middle is what I'm going to be working with. That's the first section that I'm going to be rolling, but I'm going to just pin the back of it to keep everything out the way, because you just want to work with as little hair as possible. So I'm going to take the rat tail end of my comb and I'm going to make a part in my first section. I definitely want to make sure that I'm not using too big of a section, because you want your hair to dry. As it is, it's going to take forever. So anyway, just make sure that you are detangling each section thoroughly. And I always spray each section with water. I make sure that section is dripping, because you want to make sure that that hair lays flat on the roller. So make sure it's fully detangled. Then you're going to add your mousse. I love this mousse because it just adds a really nice hold. I do feel like I kind of used a lot, like probably more than I probably should have, but you know, whatever. Hindsight is 20/20. All right, so we're gonna begin rolling. This is why it's so important that each section is drenched when you roll, because you want the hair to stick to the roller. It's gonna stick better if it's wet. Now, obviously I lost a piece along the way. It's because it's a short piece, but that's okay. We're gonna pick her up and we're gonna roll her into the section 2, so she will not be lost. But you just wanna bring the hair as forward as possible so that when you roll it back, it sits right in the position that you want. Then I'm going to just take my clips and I'm going to clip the roller on both sides. I swear, every successful roll is a victory on its own. So just be patient with yourself. It definitely takes practice. So as you can see, I'm doing the same thing again. I am taking my small section. I'm going to spray it with water so that it is fully drenched. I'm going to detangle it through with my fine tooth comb and make sure that each section is detangled and smooth before I start rolling, because the way that you roll it is the way that it's going to dry. If your hair's not flat when you're rolling it, then it's definitely not going to be straight once it's dry. So y'all about to see me struggle getting you guys in frame, but I'm gonna try. So you see that I'm tucking my ends in. I'm tucking them under my hair so that when I roll it, my ends lay flat. It's so important that your ends are flat, because if you have bumps and grooves when you're rolling, you're gonna have them when they dry. Now, I know that it's harder with Texlaxed hair. I know that it's harder with natural hair because you just have so much texture in your hair, but we can only do the best that we can do. But the key is to make sure that your sections are small. Like this section right here is way too big. I'm going to divide it in half so that I have a smaller section to work with, so that I can lay my ends flatter and I can get my hair to dry a little bit faster. So same thing as you guys saw, I'm just spraying my hair with water, adding the mousse, detangling my hair, making sure that everything is smooth and lays flat, just detangling those ends. Then I'm going to get that roller onto the hair. And we're gonna flip that over. You see that there. and I'm going to tuck my ends under so that when I roll it, my ends are lying flat, and when they're drying, they're gonna dry straight. Now the result here is not gonna be silky smooth. If you want silky smooth hair, then you need to have relaxed hair, like straight relaxed hair for that. Like you're not gonna get that with Texlaxed hair, I'm sorry. You're gonna need to add some more heat if that's what you're looking for. But I really like this style because I think that, you know, it just gives you the nice volume that you're looking for. And even though it is a little bit work intensive, the reward at the end is worth it because you have just so much body. So yeah, so this is the completed first row. And now we're gonna move on to the sides. These, the sides I feel like are a little bit harder than just going straight back because it's just harder to fit the rollers in when you're rolling, but you'll see in a second, I do struggle a little bit. But anyway, so you're just gonna divide your hair into those two sections there. And we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna just use our rat tail comb to make that section for our first roll. Add the mousse, and we are combing our hair upwards so that our roller can sit up as high on our head as possible, because again, getting these rollers to fit is sometimes a struggle. So you want to get as much space as possible. Well, utilize as much space as possible. So get that roller as high up as you can. As you can see, I am struggling a little bit. Like I am not perfect at all. It's hard, especially when you're filming, to get things right, but I'm trying to look in the mirror and then also make sure that I'm in frame. So apologies, but yeah, I mean, the motion is pretty much the same. You want to get your hair as high as possible so that you can get the roller to sit as high as possible. Roll it as straight down as you can so that you can make room for this second roller here. See, look how wet that is. You want it to be wet just like that. That sounded pretty disturbing, I'm sorry. Anyway, disregard. So we're gonna just roll here. I find it easier to clip the rollers together sometimes in certain sections. It just makes it easier and makes the rollers a little bit more secure. But we're gonna do the same thing. It does start to get a little bit repetitive, but for these sections, it's just important to see how important it is to keep your sections high up on top of your head so that you can maximize as much space as possible, because we're gonna fit 4 rollers in this line here. And with this next section, I just wanted to show you guys because I actually come in on this section a little bit crooked and off center, but you can fix that. It's easy to do that with these side sections because you can't really see what you're doing. But so long as you kind of feel out the hair on the roller and make sure that the hair remains centered on the roller, and that might mean that you have to kind of twist the roller or move it from side to side to get that hair back center, you can fix what is sometimes a crooked, awkward angle that you have with your section. So I just wanted to show you that kind of error that I made because it's easily corrected, and it's honestly something that probably will happen in your first few attempts at doing these roller sets because it's just so easy to like mess up when you can't see what you're doing. And with this last section, I could barely fit the roller into that section. If you can't fit your roller into your last section, that's okay. That's why I have different sizes that I use, just in case I can't fit a larger roller in that section. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Everything is rolled up. I think in total I had 19 rollers in my head entirely. And this is me about an hour and a half later. I sat under my hooded dryer for about an hour and let it air dry for another half hour about. So I'm just gonna take out those rollers, and this is the curl that I got. I am loving the bounce, the shine. Obviously my hair is not super straight. It is still, you know, got some texture in it, and I expected that because I have Texlaxed hair. So anything that I do, any style that I do is going to have a lot of texture in it. So that is what we're working with right now. I'm just going to comb out my hair or brush out my hair right now, just so that I can obviously wear my hair and it's not all patchy and sectioned off and everything. So I'm gonna just do a light detangle, nothing crazy. I still wanna keep some of the curl that I have, but ultimately my desired look was to have really full voluminous hair, which I think I achieved here. I mean, I don't know. I like it. Me being annoying and just really loving super straight hair, super straight is excessive, I'm exaggerating, but loving like silky hair, I don't know, I was missing my blow dryer and flat iron, but you know, this is a nice look because it gives you the body that a blow dryer just never will be able to give you. I absolutely love the texture. I love the volume. I love that I have more curl than I usually do, but I did want to just see what my hair would look like if I blow dried my hair. So that's what you're about to see me do right now. I'm just sectioning off my hair and just seeing what my hair looks like when I blow dry it. This is definitely not something that you guys need to do, and yes, it is totally counterintuitive to using the indirect heat of the roller set and getting the benefits there when you're just going to use direct heat anyway. Yes, I understand that, but I was just kind of experimenting. I was playing with my hair. I wanted to see, you know, what things would look like, and honestly, I do see a difference. The fact that I did the roller set first is what gave me so much more volume with my blow dry. So I think I'm going to give this another try. I'm gonna just keep working out the roller sets and see if this is something that I like and wanna do. If you guys like this video, then definitely hit that like button because it helps my channel and it helps me reach more people as always. And subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this one. Until next time, guys, I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.